Hello, and welcome back to yet another season of The Lowdown. My name is Tyler Hapney, your producer for this season, and we already have an episode full of exciting new things for you. Our first package is a look at the history of Devo, one of Akron's most famous rock bands. Here's that package. When it comes to iconic bands from the 1980s, some of the names that pop into your head might include things like Flock of Seagulls, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Blondie, Bruce Springsteen, and Duran Duran. However, for many people from the Akron area, there's one particular band that stands out among the rest. Devo began with two Kent State students, Gerald Casale and Bob Lewis, making frequent jokes about the concept of de-evolution, or devolution. Devolution, or the idea that humanity was beginning to regress to a more primitive state, served as a basis for the two's social commentary moving forward. In 1970, the pair would meet with an up-and-coming keyboardist, Mark Mothersbaugh, and the trio would soon become the core of what would be known as Devo for the next 8 years. They performed throughout Akron and the Cuyahoga Falls area, even recording their first 2 music videos here. Speaking of music videos, Devo were pioneers in the sense that they were one of the earlier bands to produce their own music videos. Jocko Homo and Secret Agent Man, their first 2 music videos, were both produced locally throughout Akron and Cuyahoga Falls. Their later music videos, like the one for Whip It, would be directed by Gerald Casale himself, who would go on to direct videos for bands like The Cars, Rush, and Foo Fighters. Things would change for Devo in 1976, when they put those first 2 music videos together into one cohesive short film, The Truth About Devolution. After winning an award at a film festival, The Truth About Devolution would get the interest of world-famous rock stars David Bowie and Iggy Pop. Bowie and Iggy, enamored with Devo's style, passed a recommendation along to Warner Music. Soon, Devo would be offered the record contract that would change the course of their entire lives. In 1978, Devo dropped their first album, Are We Not Men, We Are Devo. Shortly after, they appeared on Saturday Night Live to perform their famous cover of I Can't Get No Satisfaction. They were seriously starting to take off in a major way. However, nothing would compare to what would happen when their third album, Freedom of Choice, dropped in 1980.
They are without a doubt one of the most talked about rock groups in recent years. And their unique appearance and unusual music have made them a sure sellout attraction at arenas across this country. Would you please welcome Devo?
The third song on the album, Whip It, would go on to become one of the defining songs of the 1980s. The reliance on synthesizers combined with the inclusion of traditional acoustic drum presented a style that shaped the new wave movement. Whip It was foundational for the band, and the song would peak at number 14 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Throughout the rest of the 1980s, Devo would enjoy mainstream popularity, producing 4 albums during the decade that would be met with less and less acclaim. Finally, in 1990, Devo released their album Smooth Noodle Maps, which would be the worst received Devo project to date. Just a year after its release, Devo would announce they would be taking a hiatus. Smooth Noodle Maps would be the last album Devo would release for 20 years. The success of Devo propelled each band member's individual career. Mark Mothersbaugh, along with his brother Bob Mothersbaugh and Bob Casale, the both of them referred to as Bob 1 and Bob 2 respectively, formed Mutato Musica, a music production company. Mutato Musica was responsible for the soundtracks of many recognizable projects, including Pee-wee's Playhouse, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Regular Show, and The Sims. Gerald Casale would become a prolific music video and commercial director, a field he would work in for the next decade and a half. Finally, in the late 2000s, rumors emerged of Devo working on new material. This would be confirmed with the release of 2010's Something for Everybody. The album was rated well and would remind the world that Devo still existed. However, the triumph from this return would be short-lived, as Bob Casale would soon pass away from heart failure in 2014. Since then, the band has reappeared sporadically, including a partnership with Trust Me Vodka and even a line of Funko Pops. Since 2018, Devo has been nominated for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 different times. Around Akron, people remember Devo fondly. It's hard not to mention them in discussions about popular music of the time. For a bit, the impact they had was very apparent, at least in one part of the city. Until 2022, a mural outside of the Akron Civic Theater depicted an iconic photo from the band's early days. it depicted the members of Devo outside of a sandwich shop, a place where they'd go right after shows at the theater next door. The mural stood as a way for Akron to honor some of its favorite sons, and to remind the world of the yellow jumpsuited men with the funny hats that told us all to whip it into shape.
And that was our Devo package. If you like art though, you might wind up liking this next package a little bit more. This is the student exhibition from the Myers School of Art here at Akron University.
So hi, my name is Heather Hyam. I'm a ceramic sculpture double major at Myers School of Art here at the University of Akron. I'm in my senior year. My piece that won first in the Student Juried Exhibition is called The Apple of My Eye. It is a mixed media piece made out of ceramic, plaster, straw, and a steel armature that I welded. It's based on my little baby apple dog. Her name is Apple, and she is the apple of my eye. I love her very much. A lot of my work is trauma-based work, so it also stems from childhood traumas that I dealt with, dealing with femininity and masculinity and my fear of masculinity. So I hope that that comes across in the very feminine aspects of my piece, where there's a lot of pink and ribbon, and her femininity is exploding out of her, and she wants to scream it out to the world, but at the same time she's very scared and protective, and I think that shows in her her expression as well. My dog Apple, I had her since she was a baby, and when I had her spayed, it was very traumatizing for me to watch her go through that, and I feel like there's a lot of things that females go through surgeries like that, so that way, protect herself and other dogs in the future. Like it's traumatizing to go through stuff like that. So I wanted to portray how I felt her going through that and how I felt about my traumas growing up. And yeah, that's my piece.
Wow, that was a lot of really cool art. Let's take a look at our next package, which is an artist showcase. Let's take a look at Elijah's package for Trippie Redd.
Trippie Redd, born Michael Lamar White IV on June 18, 1999, is an American rapper, singer, and performer from none other than Canton, Ohio. You may know him from his popular hits, Miss the Rage, Love Scars, or Dark Knight Demo. As previously mentioned, Trippie Redd was born in Canton, Ohio, and grew up on 14th Street. Early in his life, he formed a group called 1400-800, which was based on the street number he grew up on. The group he formed was filled with close friends, family, and other community associates of Trippie. These group members are seen in many music videos. His stage name, Trippie Redd, came from the fact that his friends used to call him Trippie Hippie, which he eventually combined into one alternate spelling of Trippie and had Red at the end, as his younger and older brother were both nicknamed Hippie Red and Dirty Red. Tragically, Dirty Red passed away after a fatal car crash in 2014. Although Trippie Redd excelled academically in school, achieving a 4.0 GPA, he pursued music rather than education out of high school. Early on, Trippie Redd was heavily influenced by the likes of Ashanti, Beyonce, Tupac, and Nas. These were all artists his mother played growing up. As he developed his own taste, he began to listen to MF Doom, T-Pain, Green Day, Marilyn Manson, Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne, and other groups and rappers. An early influence cited for his early dreamy soundscape was a Florida producer, XXYYXX, and his inspiration to start rapping was Tavion Williams, another rapper who went by Lil Tay. He began rapping as early as 2014, releasing songs Sub-Zero and New Ferrari independently, but deleting them not long after posting them. Trippie Redd cites a major stepping stone in his career was moving to Atlanta. The infrastructure for rap music, as well as the supportive community, empowered Trippie to really start making music. He claims that around Ohio, people are not as supportive of your music endeavors as cities like Atlanta. Although the Akron and Canton area has produced the likes of musicians like the Black Keys, we don't have the extensive list of massively famous musicians that cities like Atlanta do. Upon moving to Atlanta, Trippie met Lil Wop, a rapper from Chicago that was signed to 1017 Records, a record label founded by Gucci Mane. Lil Wop, being in Atlanta because of 1017 Records, helped Redd get into professional recording studios. Because of these connections Trippie built, he was able to get large amounts of studio time for free. This was a massive jumpstart for his career. Lil Wop and Trippie worked with Cody Shane, who was a rapper that was part of Lil Yachty's collective Sailing Team at the time, to record 3 projects. After recording these projects, Trippie eventually signed to the label Strange Entertainment and moved to Los Angeles. At Strange Entertainment, he released Love Scars off the album A Love Letter to You, which was his breakout hit. The song garnered 400 million streams on Spotify, 135 million views on YouTube, and more than 130 million on SoundCloud. This song was just the beginning of a long and fruitful, and sometimes tumultuous, career for Trippie Redd. This was the beginning of his A Love Letter to You series, which ended up with 4 more installments, with the most recent being released in August of 2023. The release of Love Scars would start what some would consider Trippie Redd's prime. In August of 2017, Trippie featured on XXXTentacion's song, Love, which is now one of the most streamed rap songs of all time. 2 months later, his second installment of A Love Letter to You series was released, debuting at number 34 on the Billboard 200. 2 months after that, Trippie released one of his most successful songs, Dark Knight Demo, featuring Travis Scott, with the song being his first to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. In August of 2018, Trippie Redd would release his first debut album, Life's a Trip, which would receive generally positive critical reviews. It was an adventurous album, outside of his typical sound, and debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200. Later that year, A Love Letter to You 3 would be released. In August of 2019, his album, Exclamation Point, would be released, including a song recently popularized on TikTok, Everything Bozy, featuring Coi Leray, his girlfriend at the time. However, not long after getting together, Trippie and Coi would part ways. In November of 2019, he would go on to release A Love Letter to You 4, a mixtape that debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200. This was his first chart-topping album. After this, Trippie went on a bit of a stale run. With his next album being met with mixed reviews, the conversation about Trippie died down a little. Was this the end of Trippie's run?
I love Trippie Red.
May 2021 saw the release of Miss the Rage, the smash hit featuring Playboi Carti. This song was a powerhouse for Trippie, racking up over 500 million streams and becoming the highest charting single of Trippie Redd's career. You could not escape this anthem, being played at parties, on the radio, included in every other TikTok. Not long after, Holy Smokes featuring Lil Uzi Vert was released, performing well. Both of these singles were included on Trip at Night, Trippie Redd's hyperpop-inspired Rage album. However, it seemed that this momentum was short-lived, as the next few albums saw mixed and negative reviews. Trippie Redd stays consistent with a Love Letter to You albums, but when he ventures outside of his usual sound, he either strikes gold or falls flat, and there's little in between. In August of 2024, Trippie and Coi Leray rekindled their 2019 relationship. However, not long after sharing that she was pregnant, Coi accused Trippie of cheating on her while she was pregnant. Leaving out some of the tumultuous beefs, that is the career of Trippie Redd. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Wow, I didn't know Trippie Redd had so much local history. For our next package, let's look at Emily for a tutorial on how to make found jewelry.
Hi, I'm Emily, and today I'm going to show you how to make found object jewelry, as well as talking about the different types of chains, wires, and jump rings. I'm going to begin by fixing this necklace by taking a medium-sized jump ring and attaching it to either ends of the chain. There are many types of chains as well as jump rings to go along with them for this fix. When you close the jump ring, most of the time you'll hear a small click. Even if you don't, you can take a look at it to see if you've closed it. When it comes to gauges of wire, the bigger the gauge, the thinner the wire becomes. An example is right in front of us. The silver wire on the left end is the thickest wire. Therefore, it would be the smallest gauge. The silver on the other end is a 26 gauge, and that is why it is so thin. When it comes to chains, they come in many different styles. I'm fond of silver and bronze. As you see here, we have the silver chain that we had used to fix the necklace earlier. And take a look at these darker chains. Notice how they come in different styles. Chains are typically used when it comes to making necklaces. Today I'm going to turn a childhood toy into an earring. This is a squinky. All you need for this is a few jump rings and an earring hook, and sometimes a needle. First, we are going to take the jump ring through the cat's ear, and if at first that doesn't work, then we can use the sewing needle to poke it through the ear so that there is a pre-made hole that we can put the jump ring through. From there, make sure you close the jump ring so that it won't fall out. Once you've done that, you can open up the jump ring attached to the chains with the earring hook and put the closed ring on the squinky and close it. You can add or take away as many jump rings as you want, and there you have a squinky earring. Speaking of childhood toys, I'm now going to make a Lego earring. All you need is a few jump rings, a pre-made earring hook, and a ribbon crimp. The ribbon crimp is what attaches to the Lego so that you may attach the jump rings to it. When you attach the crimp, make sure you use your pliers and close down on the crimp on both sides so that the Lego won't fall out. From there, you can attach the jump rings with the earring, and that is how you create a Lego earring. Next, I'm going to show everyone how to make an earring with something that comes with a pre-made space for jump rings. Instead of having to use a crimp or poke a hole in it, this little guy comes with a little nub that we can attach the jump rings to. Once we attach the jump ring, we can just attach the entire chain with an earring hook. And there we have a little guy with an earring. For this next one, I'm going to change it up a bit. Instead of an earring or a necklace fix, I'm going to be making a keychain. As you can see, I've chosen this gear with holes on either end of it, so on one end we can attach the clasp via a jump ring to one end of it, and on the other end we'll attach a bunch of jump rings and an ending. Once you have attached the jump rings and the chain to either end, then you will have a keychain. Feel free to attach whatever you want to it. For this final fix, I'll be making an earring out of a tab that I had taken off a can of soda. First things first is to make sure that the tab can't poke you anywhere. And once then, the tab has a hole for us to put a jump ring through. It is as simple as that. Today we have spoken about how to create earrings out of many different things. Jewelry can be found and made of anything. Squinkies, Legos, tabs, how to create keychains, how to fix necklaces. And now I want to talk about jump rings. We have used jump rings in all of these projects. As mentioned before, these are the connectors between the object and the earring hook. And they can lengthen, or you can take them away to make the earrings shorter. Without jump rings, none of these projects that we have done today would be possible. Thank you for watching on how to create jewelry out of found objects.
If you made any found jewelry using this tutorial, please don't hesitate to pass it along to the Lowdown social media. As for the end of this episode, let's check out Trey's video on Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Hello Lowdown fans, my name is Trey Hubbard, a new member here at the Lowdown. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the Cleveland-born rap group Bone Thugs and Harmony. The group comprised of 5 members who met in the 7th grade practicing their beatboxing and rapping. In the early days of their career, the group went by the name of Band-Aid Boys instead of the name we know today. In 1991, Cleveland, Ohio, Busy Bone, Wishbone, Lazy Bone, Crazy Bone, and Fleshbone were the 5 members who established the now-known group. The group popularized the hip-hop / rap subgenre chopper rap, which is a fast-paced style of rap. Influencing notable rappers like Busta Rhymes, Big L, Eminem, and many more. The group has done a lot for the rap game and for themselves. Being winners of a Grammy and selling well over 1 million units, the group has accomplished many things. Today I will be guiding you throughout the history of the group and how they accomplished all that they have. After the formation of the group, they renamed themselves from the Band-Aid Boys to Bone Enterprise in 1993. After rebranding themselves, they dropped their first solo album, Faces of Death, which unfortunately failed to chart. Even though the album didn't do too well, it drew attention from the west side of America. In the 90s, rap was dominated by rappers like Tupac, Snoop Dogg, members of NWA, Nas, and so many more legendary artists. One artist who noticed the group from the Midwest was a former NWA member named Eazy-E.
We're sitting here with Eazy-E.
Believe that.
How are you doing?
All right.
So Easy, tell me, how is your life as a youngster?
Ruthless. My style is a juvenile. Ran with.
In the same year that their first album flopped, they were introduced to Eazy-E by a third-party member, Dodge Black. Black was the group's producer for their album as well as a marketer and promoter. After auditioning for Eazy-E in his dressing room, the group impressed the West Coast rapper. The group later returned to LA to sign with Eazy-E's label, Ruthless Records. After signing with them, the group was renamed for the final time. Eazy-E suggested the name Bone Thugs and Harmony, which stuck with the group ever since. In 1994, the group released an EP album, Creepin' on the Come Up, which sold over 4 million units and was certified multi-platinum. The album has famous songs on it like Thuggish Ruggish Bone,
It's the Thuggish Ruggish Bone,
or For the Love of Money.
And you better believe, gotta have that cheese for the green leaves, never catch me sleep.
The group started to work on their second album under Eazy-E's label. Sadly, the album was postponed due to the passing of their mentor, Eazy-E.
Rapper Eazy-E has died in Los Angeles after a battle with AIDS. Eazy-E, whose real name was Eric White, was a member of the group NWA, which helped popularize harsh inner-city rap music.
At the time, the passing of the rapper affected everyone from the West Coast to the East Coast. Filled with grief at the loss of Eazy-E, Bone Thugs and Harmony continued working on their second album. Releasing in 1995, the group released their second album, Eternal, as a tribute to their friend Eazy-E. This album is a source of some of their most popular songs like First of the Month, East 99, and The Crossroads. Eternal would go on to win the group a Best Rap Album Grammy in 1996, while also being the best-selling rap album of 1995. The group used their unique Cleveland rhymes with LA beats to create something people have never heard before. The group would go on to create more successful albums. Some include Art of War 1997, Thug Stories 2006, Unified, The World's Enemy 2010, and New Waves 2017. The group will go through many evolutions, but their chopper rap style is the most notable thing about their music. Even though the group was classified as gangsta rap by the media, they used many techniques to achieve the unique sound they have. The group would tie in their religion with their music. Their melodic singing was inspired by gospel singings in churches, a style where multiple people, sometimes even all 5 members, would overlap their voices or take turns singing. The group has collaborated with many rap legends. Of course, there's their mentor/friend Eazy-E, Notorious B.I.G., Tank, and the group was going to collaborate with Tupac before he passed in 1996. Bone Thugs and Harmony will be placed in hip-hop history forever. Their unique style of rapid rapping and melodic harmonies set the path for many new-gen artists. They also represented their hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, putting their city on the map for new artists to emerge from. This group of men have inspired many people, especially young black men, that these corps and businesses cannot tear apart great family and friends. Thank you for joining me in today's episode. I hope you learned something, and don't forget to follow The Lowdown on Instagram and Facebook, as well as subscribing here on YouTube, and you might as well like the video while you're down there. Thanks for watching. My name is Trey, and have a great rest of your day.
What a great selection of videos. I'm excited for the rest of the season. As for now though, we're going to be saying goodbye. If any of the acts or Lowdown interest you at all, don't forget to check us out on social media. As for now though, I'm Tyler Hapney, and this has been The Lowdown.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.